Looking for the perfect hidden gem for your next night out? Welcome to Almost on the Lake, where the food is delicious. The service is top-notch. And the atmosphere feels like home. Family owned and locally loved. Come see why everyone is talking about Almost on the Lake.
Nestled in the heart of historic downtown Wilkesboro, the 1915 offers a wedding experience like no other. Once a federal courthouse and post office, the 1915 combines rich history with timeless charm. From intimate gatherings to full-day rentals, we provide the perfect backdrop for your most cherished moments. With indoor and outdoor options, bridal and groom suites, every detail is crafted just for you. Make your wedding unforgettable at the 1915, Wilkesboro's historic wedding venue, where your story begins.
Everybody knows Roselli's on 10th for the best authentic pizzas and pasta dishes in the region. But the real magic happens when you ask for the off-menu specials. That's when John steps out from behind the line, flashes that grin and says, "What are you in the mood for tonight? Fresh seafood over linguine? A steak cooked exactly how Granny Roselli would? Maybe the legendary veal chop parmesan nobody else dares to make? Tell John what you're craving. He'll create something incredible just for you." Roselli's on 10th, 211 10th Street in North Wilkesboro. Come in, call, or order online at rosellison10thnc.com. Roselli's on 10th, where dinner becomes personal.
Closed captions for this episode of Life in Wilkes is brought to you by Deal Insurance Agency in Wilkesboro, an award-winning, experienced, family-owned and operated agency with service and coverage that goes above and beyond expectations. Join us on a captivating journey as we explore the charm, history, and vibrant culture of Wilkes County. Discover the hidden gems, inspiring stories, and remarkable people that make Wilkes a place worth knowing and celebrating. Join us now as we experience the unique essence of life in Wilkes.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Carl?
I'm doing great. I know we all love Christmas, this time of the year. And it's always exciting. It's a little complicated because I don't even know exactly what to wear. I started off with this checkered shirt and then a checkered tie that was with the same color, but it did have pheasants, but it was still the same. So I still don't know if this is right, but, I've seen people wear a lot of things during Christmas, so I'm going to be okay with it. But the thing we're here to talk about is the Gingerbread Festival for 2025, and I thought it was wonderful. And there's always a grand prize winner, and you brought the grand prize winner with you today. Tell everybody who this is.
Absolutely. This is Liana Salas. She is a general manager of Dom Bakeries, which is in North Wilkesboro, and we are so excited. The Dom Bakeries team won the professional division this year.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Well, Liana, tell us about the inspiration, because we were fortunate to actually win the hype bid on that one for the fundraiser. So it's actually in our studio now. So we're real happy about that. And then we actually, interestingly enough, we had won a bid. We won a bid last year on another one. So let's talk about the grand prize winner for this year.
Yes.
And how that came about and how you made it and everything. Then we'll talk a little bit about the one from last year that's on bird legs or something.
Yeah, so this year, funny enough, our plan was to try to go with something a little bit easier because this year we were time crunching, pretty busy at the bakery. So we were just trying to do something a little bit easier and a little bit more close to home for the bakery. So we thought,
Okay.
well, let's do the 4 walls of the bakery.
Right.
It's not exactly just 4 walls.
Right. Sure.
Abby is the head cake decorator, and she always helps with she does the baking, and then we both plan and try to get everything together for how we're going to build it and make this come alive. So we always start out with just a drawing and cardstock paper.
and you go from there.
And we go from there.
Do you make your own gingerbread?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't run over to the other stores and buy pre-made ginger. You actually make it.
Yes.
I'm thinking right now that some people watching this are saying, I didn't know you could do that. But you can.
Yes, we do make our own gingerbread, and we have our cardstock papers drawn out. We try to draw out our shapes that we're going to need, and we lay that on it after we get it all rolled out, and we cut out what we need, and then we bake it after we do our cutouts.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot easier to break it apart.
So one of the things that I thought was unique about your entry this year was the inside. And with the, you look through the windows, the light's on, and you can see things going on inside. So how'd you make that happen?
So we were dreaming bigger. We were hoping to be able to do something inside the house. But when we realized that we were cutting it close on time, we were like, well, we have an option. And so we did edible images. I went to each window and took an individual picture, and we uploaded them, and we did edible images to be able to put in our windows to look like the inside of the bakery.
Okay, so that's how you got through the competition with everything being edible.
Yes.
So if we were to tear the house apart, of which we will not, we have a long history of our houses remaining for a long time, as Jean can attest to that.
Yes.
Were these people, were they individuals that are tied to the restaurant, or are they just, you saw somebody there, you made an image, or are those images representative of somebody that works there or a customer?
So the images are actually just of our inside of the building.
Right.
So like if you were to go in front of our bakery and look in the window, that's what you would see from the windows in our gingerbread house.
But there are people in there.
There was a couple of people that made it in there.
Right. That's what I'm talking about, because I saw those people.
So they were just kind of, I think we had a worker and a couple of guests that were just dining that day and happened to be there during the time of me taking pictures. I was trying to make them not be so close just because they didn't know I was taking pictures from Gingerbread
Right.
House.
So it could be anyone, but it actually is a person, and that can be eaten. We don't eat them, but that's the idea with the competition, right?
Yes.
So when you were beginning your process, and it's not the first year, but so when you first started the process, was there anything that you felt was particularly complicated or challenging?
So having the idea is easy. It's the structure.
Right.
We realize this is the 3rd year now that I've helped with a gingerbread house, and I realize every time we forget about structure supports.
Right.
So that's the complicated part. Is
engineering.
we get ahead of ourselves, and then we start to put together the build, and then we realize we got to take it back apart because we got to have something supporting this roof that's laying flat. So, that's the hardest part is just we get ahead of ourselves when it comes to putting things together.
Right.
We don't think about the interior.
So was this year a year when have you learned enough what the 2 previous years, or are you still saying, darn, we know better than that, but we got it re-engineered again?
Yeah, we did that this year. We had to take the roofs off twice. The lower level roof and the upper level roof, both we had to remove because we forgot to put something in underneath the first roof, and it actually collapsed in. So we had to fix that.
Right.
So yeah, we still have those moments of we know better. This doesn't sound very professional of us to say we forget structure.
Well,
but
it happens.
Yes, it does. It does.
Well, you won.
Yeah, we won.
The professional division, so I think that certainly means something.
Yeah.
And it's here and it hasn't fallen down yet.
Yes.
So, like I said, we've been real fortunate with that. Jean, tell us about this year's turnout, because to me it looked like a lot of houses. It looked like a lot of people.
It was an amazing year. It was our biggest and best year yet. We are so grateful, first, for the sponsors that helped us put the Gingerbread Festival on. We had a record number of sponsors that contributed. They help us make it free, and we know that by not charging admission, by making sure that everybody has access to come see the gingerbread houses, that it will not just reflect well on Wilkes Literacy, but it is a reflection of the generous people that help us put the event together. And we had just an amazing number of houses each year, Carl. I think there's no way we're going to have more houses than last year. And this year we had 66, which is a record for us. What is really notable about this year is that we had more competitive houses than ever. And so, we have more people baking their own gingerbread like Dom Bakeries did, and putting those structures together from scratch. And so that is just impressive. If you've never done it, then you have no idea just how much time is involved. And this year we had more of those builders than ever. We had more visitors than we've ever had, and there were many contributing factors. Our board of directors was really proactive this year with ideas about how to get the word out beyond Wilkes County, and so we did a lot of advertising this year. I did some interviews, and we also had the article that was in Our State magazine. So this year we had visitors from Raleigh and Charlotte and Mooresville and Winston and Hickory and beyond, all coming to Wilkes County to see the gingerbread houses. And so I was stopped many times by wonderful guests who said, I drove an hour to get here just so I could see this event. And of course, we love any time that we can spread the word about how great Wilkes County is. And I think this whole event is just a reflection of the goodness of our community and the joy of Christmas.
Well, I certainly agree with that, but you sprinkled in a bit of big information there, and I'm going to go back and talk about your Our State appearance, because I love Our State magazine. I think anyone who reads it does, and looks at the pictures, because there are a lot of pictures, and your competition, your festival. It took me 5 years to stop calling it the gingerbread competitions, because it's the gingerbread festivals. But there is that competitive side to it. But when Our State comes knocking, they spend some time with you. How many pages or how much coverage did you think you were actually going to get from that interview?
I did not know, and I will say I would have been grateful for anything.
Right.
I joked with my board of directors when I got that initial phone call. I almost fell out of my chair, and truly it was their idea to reach out to Our State, which I'm very grateful. I have a wonderful board of directors who are very involved, and they said, "Why not? Just try and see what happens." And I did not know about the coverage. I did have a wonderful writer. Her name is Chloe Klingstead, who came and spent the day with us, and was just a joy, just a wonderful person to meet.
Right.
And I just felt like there was magic in the day. We had just a really good connection. She and the photographer both just really seemed to stick around and enjoy the day. And then, when we touched base a few months later, I just wanted to reach out and just say, I of course, we had the student graduate. The student that was featured in the story graduated after the interview took place, and I reached out to her to make sure that the writer knew that if we could include that would be wonderful, because the success of that student is just remarkable. And I sort of got the feeling from that point on that it was really well received. And she had provided some feedback that the editors had really enjoyed the article. And so to get 6 pages was
Yes.
just incredible. And we're so honored. It's such a beautiful magazine. And I feel like they do such a wonderful job of trying to feature things about North Carolina that should be featured, but may get missed otherwise. And so I love that about our state. And so we are just incredibly blessed and honored that we were part of it this year.
Well, I thought it was great. And I think the way it was treated and just the story itself, I agree. She did a beautiful job on writing it. And it's a beautiful story. It's a great thing. So maybe it will be the thing that it came out this year, and now next year more people will come from even further.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. So being part of the Gingerbread Festival, being part of competing, I mean, other than making the entries, what has this meant for you? Not for Dom's, but for you as an individual.
Well, one side of it is just being able to be creative in a way that's not demanding. Like it's free creativity, and then also that we're supporting a good cause. I mean, that's what it's all about. We get to have fun and support a good cause. So, it's for me, that's anytime that I could be able to help, whether it be for time or creativity or in any way, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a good thing. What about bragging rights with your family? They said you won. What'd you get? How was that? Tell us how that happened when you realized that you had gotten the top spot. Tell us what that was personally like, not at the shop, but at home.
Well, at home, my kids are always surprised. They're always like, "Oh, really? You did?" And then, I always try to keep in-progress pictures, too, so I can keep my kids and my husband updated on, well, this is what we got done today, because it's several days in between usually when we get to work on our gingerbread house. So just in-progress pictures, and then whenever they finally see the finished work, and they're at that point, I have teenage kids too, so they're just like, cool. But then when they find out that it's actually a winning piece, they like it. They enjoy being able to hear the
they're
updates
proud of
on
Mom.
it. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What do we see moving forward? Because this is 2025. This was. What year was this again?
This was our 6th year.
6th year.
Yes.
Because I remember the first, you were at Talia's, right, in the basement, and I thought that was great.
Yes.
Was that the COVID year?
It was the COVID year.
Right, right, and there was the distancing, which those stairs created. I was like, nobody's going to pay attention. But it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And just moving forward, we're excited about and already planning for next year. We've had several people reach out already and say, I want to be included, and trying to encourage people, if they want to build, to follow us on social media, particularly Facebook. We have a dedicated Facebook page for the Gingerbread Festival, and we will start posting in the summer about when the registration opens for builders. And sponsorship is the same way. I've had a few people reach out and say they're interested in sponsoring next year, and I can't tell you how important that is. It just helps us make sure that we have everything we need to put on such a big event. And so sponsorships will open up in the summer as well. And we're just hopeful. Every year it grows. Every year we have people that find us and get excited. We had a lot of great new builders this year too. I always love our returning builders, absolutely, but it's also exciting to see new people engage with the Gingerbread Festival. And so we hope that they'll continue to build moving forward. We're just excited. It has become such a fun tradition for not just our team at Wilkes Literacy. I mean, we have a small army of volunteers that are incorporated in this entire event. But our board, our students, I can't even tell you how much joy. I will drop everything that I'm doing when one of our students walks in the door and just give them a hug and just get so excited about them being there. They bring their families because they're excited about celebrating what we're doing. So every year it grows. Every year there's something new that I learn. But we just continue to move forward. The plan is to, do the same weekend, the first weekend of December in 2026.
Nice.
Good evening. We're following some breaking developments out of downtown Wilkesboro this evening, where officials report an unusual incident at the 2025 Wilkes Literacy Gingerbread House Festival overnight. Security footage shows two blue, furry, cookie-motivated creatures believed to be cookie monsters entering the historic 1915 courthouse after the judging had concluded last evening. Several gingerbread displays had been disturbed, some even described as emotionally traumatized. And one was found in a state of significant crumb displacement. At the end of the evening, courthouse officials had sealed the doors, but authorities say the suspects had already fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of crumbs and chocolate smears. Investigators are now asking the public to be on the lookout for two individuals approximately 3 feet tall, bright blue, and highly food motivated. Residents are warned, do not approach and do not offer cookies. No comments have been issued by festival organizers, but the investigation continues. Festival staff assure the public that all affected gingerbread structures are receiving the support and frosting repairs they need. For more information about the festival, visit the Wilkes Literacy website or Facebook page. Now, back to your regular programming.
I saw your sister sent something up from down in Cajun country, right?
She did. I have the most impressive sister, I believe, of all sisters. She did the lovely Nutcracker piece, that,
Right.
and you can go on Facebook and see photos of that. But she mailed it in pieces in a giant box and sent me 22 text messages about how
To assemble it correctly.
to put it together, and labeled every piece. And just no one can do anything in life quite like her. She's the most competent person I know, so she will figure it out.
I think that's the one that was just devastated by those monsters that broke in. Tim was very fortunate enough to be on location to capture that.
It was very traumatized.
Yes, very traumatized. I watched the coverage that night and I said, "Oh my!" But,
So did I.
but I'm really glad everything came back together. I love the organization. I love the creative expression that those who participate provide to it. But the idea that you have students, people who have gone through the Wilkes Literacy program, they show up. I just think that's one of the best gifts in the world, to help people go through that process and become more literate on all sorts of things, whether it's spelling, writing, arithmetic. All of those things are so important. And when you go, especially when you go from nothing to discovering the power of that, that's got to make you sleep better at night.
Well, and it's certainly very rewarding. And we've talked before that Wilkes Literacy really is very volunteer driven, and our volunteers spend a lot of time pouring themselves and serving these people in our community that really do need help and they need service. And so we're grateful. Not only does this give us an opportunity to raise money for the agency, which, it's a primary fundraiser for us, but we get to celebrate. It's just a way for us to tell the community what we're doing and make sure that they're aware of what Wilkes Literacy is doing, to celebrate our volunteers and to celebrate our students. And it just is a beautiful way to bring everybody together. It is, if you're there especially on a Saturday night. This Saturday night of the 2025 festival was so packed. There were people out the door.
I remember that.
And it was just I just had the most fun. Santa and Mrs. Claus were there, and they are such great friends of Wilkes Literacy. I feel like the Christmas magic, the joy that was in the building, and to think that, that is part of what we do is really rewarding. It is rewarding, Carl.
I think so. I think that was wonderful. And I remember that as we were coming to collect our bounty, things we'd won, and I think it was Dale and Michelle and the Searcies were there, and they had come over, and we did that picture on stage.
Yes.
And it was a very celebratory moment. So I know we disrupted the flow of things, but...
There's always a disruption of the flow of things, but that's what makes it fun.
That's right. So. Ladies, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. It's, we always, in the earlier part of the year, we talk about what's coming, and then afterwards, we want to make sure we visit with the winner, and also just imagine what next year is going to be about.
Well, I sure hope that Dom Bakeries is part of whatever next year is going to be about.
Well, you're the new general manager, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you just make an early commitment?
Yeah, well, we always have our wheels spinning as soon as we finish our last build. We're already thinking about next year. What can we do? What can we do better? So
2026, you're excited about a brand new entry.
Yes.
Right, all right.
And I am too.
Get your engineering skills sharpened up, right?
Yeah, we'll make notes. We'll try to do better with our structures so we don't have to redo things.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks a lot for both of you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.